Have I got sound now? Am I there? Can they hear me? Yeah. They hear me? Okay. You got a clear shot of my double chin right now, but no audio. Okay, you can hear me? Goodness gracious. Whew. Okay. Now, as you somewhat saw a while ago, a video of me last Wednesday night, because I wasn't here, I had car problems. Now, I spent the entirety of the night underneath my car just to reveal that if I had repaired it properly last time it broke, I wouldn't have had to fix it this time. In other news, Disney has purchased the rights to the original cast's recording of Hamilton. They're going to be sending it out to movie theaters near you for an exclusive screening of this beloved play. Now, as you all know, Disney has been making a point to cash in on their previous works with varying degrees of success. They've also gone as far as to remake the original Star Wars trilogy, making them relive their early days of near bankruptcy by putting them into a hole of about $3 billion. George Lucas, you sly dog, you. Now, some say it's lazy of them to take the same scripts and merely do them again in live action. And if you think that is lazy, I think what's more lazy is buying an already produced play that they didn't write or produce, or film for that matter, and showing it in theaters for a profit. That takes creative laziness to a whole new level. It actually is very creative to be that lazy. After it hits theaters, they're even going to put it on Disney+. Just keep plugging away, Mickey, you old money-grabbing mouse. Anyways, our guests tonight are here to talk about the upcoming Batman film, One Final Joke. And here we thought they were talking about Robert Pattinson. Okay, my crew didn't find that joke funny. Neither did Robert, who sent us a stern letter saying, quote, "Dear sweetheart, why haven't you called me, Rob?" Unquote. That must have been sent to the wrong address, or I should have returned his call. It's the early late night live show. Artie, have you seen my phone? Oh, jeez. Okay, now this joke would have worked a lot better if we had credits to cut to, but I said to the crew before we got going, we're going to take a long time to make sure the audio is ready before the show. Now, I saw them test everyone's audio. I'm not going to lie, I probably should have questioned it when they didn't. I don't remember them testing mine, and I don't know if that had anything to do with the matter. Anyways, I'm back. I hope someone missed me. Anyways, it's the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8, Exeter Channel 98. Our special guests tonight are Mark Haggett, Christopher Jacks, and William Varys? Okay, yeah, cool. Mark's got to be over here for Trailer Trash, so come on over here, Mark. And sitting with me always, unfortunately, and she was a host for last week's show, but I didn't see it. Oh, hi, Mark. All right, the man's here, yeah. Okay, sitting with me always, unfortunately, is my sister KJ.
Hey.
And Mitch Fortier, the man who just cannot get enough abuse, has come back for more.
Are we on the show?
Yeah, we are.
We're actually live.
I think we got live.
Hear us this time.
Yeah.
Kind of nice, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Anyways,
Can
this is our favorite section of the show. That's why we put it in the beginning so we can get rid of it. Trailer Trash. What's the first trailer we have up, Arnie?
You know you're talking about live action remakes?
Yes.
Mulan is the first trailer.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Hey-o.
Yeah, so let's play that trailer. This is the final trailer before the movie is released, I think, in March. It stars, I'm going to butcher her name, and I apologize in advance, Yifei Liu and Donnie Yen and Jet Li. We're just going to pass right over it.
Jet Li.
Jet Li, I know.
All right.
It's about a young Chinese maiden who disguises herself as a male warrior in order to save her father. It's based on the...
old kung fu movies.
Yeah, pretty much. And it is also based on the musical, but this movie will not have any musical sequences in it, is my understanding.
Okay.
Just
Or
straight up. You what?
What?
Did you say or wushu?
Probably no Mushu either. Yeah, no.
I think wasn't she in the Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan and Jet Li?
I will check.
Yeah, I think
Are you talking
that's
about her or the witch? Because
Mulan. I'm pretty sure
okay.
she was in that.
yes, she was. She was in the Forbidden Kingdom.
Yeah.
No.
Right, and so, yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to.
And so was actually Jet Li. So.
And correct me, yes, that's true. So was Jet Li, the one I just said she was in the movie, which doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So, I think out of everyone on this, do you study martial arts at all, Mark?
I did MMA for a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Boxed.
So I studied martial arts for a long time, comparatively to my age, okay? And so I've been a huge fan of martial arts my whole life, but I've never been a huge fan of kung fu movies. I've been a fan of Jackie Chan martial arts, kung fu movies.
Because he's fun.
Because he's fun. That's exactly
It's
it.
about martial arts and it is about...
No, I like martial arts. I like martial arts in films. I don't often like martial arts movies, though, because a lot of times I thought they got the moral wrong. So that's why I didn't like it. You know, martial arts mostly pacifistic, and it always ends with "let's kill everybody." That's not really a very martial arts style film. So, looking at this film from two different angles. One is I've never seen Mulan. All right, I never really had any desire to see Mulan, but looking at it from a kung fu adventure film, she was cool in the Forbidden Kingdom, and she looks pretty cool in this. The action looks okay. I don't know how it compares to Mulan. I honestly could not care less because I didn't really care to see it when it came out, and I have no regards to see the original cartoon now. So overall, I think this looks fine as a film. As a remake, I don't know though. As a remake, I don't know. So, all right, Arnie, what do you got?
First of all, Bob Turinjo is in the
He says,
YouTube Live.
I'm late, but I made it. Hi, everyone.
And Jen is
What's up,
also
Bob?
in. She says, Terry, yay.
Aw. Hi, Hannah.
Glad you're back.
Yes. Hi.
Streak, we're
Yeah.
doing so good.
He's late, so I guess we had a very professional beginning of the show. All right. We didn't screw up anything at all. Arnie, your thoughts on this trailer?
I was honestly surprised that I was not more excited watching this. I felt like this is something I could really get into, and I just watched it and I was like, I think when the magic came in, I was kind of like, oh, I was just hoping for like big swords and horses and stuff. I didn't need a witch.
Well, that's
running
why.
on the side of the walls, like that kind of kills it for me. I know it's a Disney movie, but
Well, that's why I said it's very, it's very old school Chinese kung fu opera house type
Right.
of thing, you know, which
So-
was running on the walls and wire work, which is what The Matrix was based off of.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it looks fine. I'm not like super thrilled because I don't really like that kind of stuff. I like
Right.
when people fight and it's like somewhat realistic. Like not realistic, the teeth are falling out, but like realistic enough.
Yeah, you know, like turning into birds is not exactly your thing, right?
Not really. Well, some movies, but not this movie.
Okay, all right. I don't know what movie you're talking about. Anyways, Condor Man doesn't count. All right, Mitch Fortier.
The Mulan story is something that I think is actually kind of interesting and very heartfelt.
One of these days I want you to say, I hated this other movie. This sucked. Why do I want to watch this again? You like
Get there.
everything, all right?
Well, I'll find you a trailer.
Okay, all right. You're too kind, Mitch. Just hate something every now and then.
Well, all right, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I was actually a little disappointed too by the magic aspect of things, but I don't really remember the story and if it actually contained that from the beginning or not when it was made as an animation. It looks amazing. The costuming, the scenery, all that stuff is pretty impressive.
It doesn't look
I'm gonna
digital,
probably watch
which, too.
It doesn't. It
Yeah.
looks pretty real and epic in that regards. I'm definitely going to look to try and watch this because I do love the story in general. It would have been neat to see kind of how it played out if they didn't use any of that fantasy stuff, that crouching tiger, hidden dragon stuff with
Right.
flying over buildings and things. But in general, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Mark?
Well, if this wasn't a remake and I was just watching the trailer, all right, it looks all right. It looks
Right.
pretty cool, you know. But they got magic in this thing, and you don't have the dragon.
Yeah.
What the
No,
hell?
Eddie Murphy.
With the
in it,
talking
and it's
heads
like,
and
yeah.
stuff? You know, the ancestors with lack of head.
Yeah.
It's cool. So I don't know how I feel about it because it's supposed to be a remake.
Did anyone see the original Mulan?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
a while ago, a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't really seem like anything like that.
I love the fact that I'm putting.
They got like a couple things, like, you know, they got the snow in there at,
Yeah.
like for 3 seconds.
Right.
But who the hell is this witch?
He said witch. For our censors out there, he did actually say witch, just so you know.
Turns into a bird and flies away. And she's magical, so she can make her armies run up walls, but
Why did that one shot of that guy going, whoa? That's what he looked like. There's a shot.
that's Genghis Khan.
Oh, is that King?
Assuming.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was, right? He was the bad guy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this witch gives his army some magic powers and they can run up walls and fly, obviously. You saw that there.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is would be hard to beat, except only it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Barely, super easy, barely an
I
inconvenience. All
watch
right.
a lot of movies, not pumped to see this, but I'll probably see it anyway.
Okay, I'm going to jump the ratings so we can get moving because we got going late. I'm going to give one solid thumb up because looking at it as a movie trailer, taking away the fact that it's a remake of Mulan, it looks good. I mean, it looks like what it is. It looks like it's not going overboard. A lot of times these new remakes of these sort of kung fu movies are extraordinarily violent. And even in the olden days with Jackie Chan's 70s era and stuff, they were very violent too. And I'm glad they don't really have that. It looks like a good kids adventure. I mean kids, I mean from 12 to 18, okay? But one thumb solidly down because I'm not really all that interested in it. As a film, I probably wouldn't go see it in theaters. I wouldn't turn it down if someone said, hey, we're going to go see this, but they would have to be paying. Arnie?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do two in the middle because I'm just not excited. The music didn't get me, the action didn't get me, and then I was watching, I remember distinctly thinking when I first watched it, in all these Chinese movies, do they ever have any clothes that look new? Because everything always looks worn out. So that was another question I had. But,
Wow,
yeah.
interesting thought.
You thought the costumes look worn out or look new or what?
No, I didn't. I thought everything looked kind of worn out and beaten. I was just even the flags. I'm like, that's the best flag you could bring for your army. Worn out. You couldn't wash it. I mean, way to represent.
Hard to make flags, okay? One solid piece of material.
Flags are very delicate.
Hey, Arnie, my mom made flags, all right?
Easy to close.
Real quick, solid thumbs up just because I love the story and I'm glad they're doing a remake of it and the fact that they're not putting music in it, that it's not a musical.
Okay.
And then one sideways because it's got the oddity with the witch and the magic that I think is, I wish wasn't there.
All right.
You guys confusing me with the sideways thumbs and whatever.
Well, it's whatever you want.
You can do, could I do a
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
right? I don't know.
You poked Terry in the eye.
I honestly couldn't give us. I'm just going to give it one.
That's a meh.
That's a meh.
One thumb sideways.
You got to do something with the other thumb, though.
I'm going to throw it away.
Wow.
Wow.
Thumb in the trash, and I'm
worse.
keeping one sideways. I'm going to wait for my opinion until I see it, because honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, none of us do. That's why we call it trailer
It
trash.
doesn't follow anything, so I can't really follow.
Okay.
There's some magic. Anything can happen.
People, do you guys
It's
don't?
Disney, it's magical. So
The House of Mouse.
Just do the house of
When did this side of the room become so animated? This is a new thing for me. I like it. I'm just not prepared for it. Yeah.
He wanted to know when I was going to stop laughing. I said, I honestly can't tell you.
Okay, let's move on to the next trailer.
I want to go back
Okay,
to
so-
House of Mouse.
Well, guess
So
what? The
the
next
next
trailer is going to be good
trailer-
for that then.
Is actually a teaser trailer that they played during the Super Bowl. We can't talk about because we don't talk.
We don't talk
sports
sports,
here, but here it is.
What's the
It's
Super
for the three new Disney Plus shows: WandaVision, Loki, and Captain America, and I forgot the other guy's
Falcon.
name. Thank you, the Falcon. So anyway, that's what it is.
Okay, this is a very short trailer,
Yeah.
which should hopefully be a short review, okay? So, anyone want to take this? Because I've got to...
I'll take it.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm at the Super Bowl. Now, granted, I had a couple of libations at this point.
Okay,
When they came up, and I'm like, all right, cool. All right, Marvel. All right, so they're spending a bunch of money, not too hard to believe. And then they opened it with with what looked like the
Falcon.
the Falcon series. I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then this other character comes into play, and I'm like, what the hell? Who's that? I don't understand who this person is. This woman with all these different clothes. And then
I
they
Love
started
Lucy?
show the Loki thing. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so
Going through the
it was really confusing
Yeah.
because I wasn't really paying attention to the sound. There's a lot of people in the room, and it was kind of loud.
Let me get this straight.
I have to go find this.
Oh, okay, so you did watch it after that then. Okay.
I'm like, I gotta go find this trailer. And I was mostly intrigued by the format of it and the fact that Disney put in 3 different introductions to projects that they're working on and intentionally tried to mix things up a little bit. And I thought that was pretty cool.
All right. Mark?
It was interesting to see 3 different trailers into one. So WandaVision, I didn't really get anything out of. Just the fact that there's,
They're playing off
many
nostalgia,
faces of
right, yeah.
Whatever. But the Falcon Winter Soldier might look cool if, Falcon's enhanced, maybe, a little bit, because, you know, he's just a human.
I said that earlier,
You can
right?
just hurl that thing like Captain America.
Yeah.
Shield.
Dude's been working out.
Nah.
Yeah, yes.
Not working out that much. He don't look like the Hulk.
Right.
He can't throw that thing like
I
that.
threw a baseball. I almost cried. My shoulder
If
hurts.
that was the Winter
Right.
Soldier being Captain America throwing that, fine. But Falcon's just a normal dude. Why
Right.
is he hurling that thing like Captain America? It doesn't really make any sense to me. And Loki, you literally just see him say whatever he
It's like,
said.
we don't even have to try it.
Yeah,
Loki,
he's
you're gonna watch.
he's like, you see my face? Watch it. And that was pretty much it.
For those of you who are Boston legal fans, it's sort of like this. Denny Crane. Like, that's it. That's all it is. Those of you who remember Boston legal.
I'm here, you'll watch me.
Because,
I'm
yeah.
one of the most famous, villains.
Yeah, I'm the one that they couldn't kill off because, you know what? You like me way too much. Arnie, your thoughts on this?
I thought it was a really cool idea that they spliced them all together. I know that all the shows are going to work together, like they're all in the same universe.
Oh,
That's
really?
the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watching them means you're going to be.
No sarcasm.
informed. I know.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Not that dumb.
all right, yeah.
Of all three of them, the one I'm actually really excited about is Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I'm like, oh, these are like
Right.
two characters I know nothing about. I don't really know much about the others, but like I'm actually excited about these two guys because they look like a really odd couple, and I want to see what happens.
Right.
Well, both of them technically become Captain America in the comics.
Yeah,
Right.
Yes. So anyway, so they'll be fighting over the shield. Anyway.
You're excited about this?
I am excited about this. I will say this, that when the Loki thing came up, I was kind of like, oh, really? You couldn't work a little harder than that? You know I'm going to watch it anyway,
Right,
but
yeah,
I felt like that was a little insulting.
Well, I feel like
They didn't film anything.
they didn't have to do any more than that. No, I mean, he's right about it. They didn't have to because you're more interested in Loki. If you had a choice to watch the three trailers between, WandaVision, all right, Falcon and Captain America, or Winter Soldier, whatever the heck it is, and Loki, you're going to pick Loki trailer, right?
No, actually, I was
Loki
split.
show.
Loki show. To watch a trailer for it. Like, we're going to watch a trailer for one. If you could only take one to a deserted island, which one would you take? All
All
right?
right, fine, it'd be Loki.
Yes, there we go. All right, so this is my opinion of it. I don't care. Like, that's what I feel like while watching this. I just don't care. Like, I haven't really been into the Marvel films pretty much since
You broke up
Captain
with the
America.
Marvel films since Civil War.
Civil War, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I was like huh? You didn't like it?
Or, no.
It's a huggable moment here. On
Thank you.
Saturday Late Night Live.
I just shook his hand. Thank you. I thought I was the only one.
The only one I fell asleep in the movie.
So,
Wish I was kidding.
yeah. So, yeah, I've got really no interest in any of this. None at all. It's like, okay, no one's going to die. Nothing means anything anymore. And yeah, like, he's just a normal person. How is he going to be able to throw this, all right? I mean,
You guys thought way more about that than I did. I was busy trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the WandaVision. I was just looking at that going,
oh, that's
is
just,
he
we're selling you on
trapped in a
nostalgia.
TV?
That's all they're doing is they're selling you on
but she's
nostalgia.
trapped in a TV. I keep watching it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's trapped in a
And I'm
TV,
pretty
and I don't know
sure
why.
a world-class discus thrower still couldn't throw that.
No.
Like that.
No, there's no way.
This is why we have a variety of opinion.
Yes, all right. Anyways, I'm doing my rating so we can go into the guest segment. 2 thumbs down. I couldn't
care
care
less.
less. The trailer's not edited together well. It's really not. It's like, we're going to do a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of that. It's like we're going to try all these seasonings on one pizza. Shut up. Decide what pizza you're going to make, okay? All right? Take ownership. All right, Arnie.
Well, I would do a meh rating because I'm not super excited. I'm going to watch it anyway, but just seeing Captain America's shield making that thumb go up, so.
All right, Mitch.
See, I'm going to be the complete opposite. I think that I'm giving.
I don't think you'd be the
Disney
complete opposite.
a solid thumbs up for creativity and trying to do something
okay,
different
there we-
because these are series as opposed to films, and they're trying to
not
find a whole
remakes.
bunch of people and that kind of thing. So different. And then one thumb sideways because WandaVision's really weird, and I'm not sure what the hell they're trying to do with that.
Okay.
But, we'll see.
I got a thumbs down for what they did for the trailers, because you didn't see Jack
Yeah,
Diddley
yes.
in it.
Yeah.
And
Not a lot to go
I
on.
got a thumb sideways because I'm curious to see how it goes and see if they can compete with any of DC's television shows, because as of right now, Marvel's kind of,
The television shows haven't been doing all good. Yeah.
they're terrible.
All right, anyways, that's the end of Trailer Trash, so you can stay tuned. It's over. Stay tuned for our guest segment. But playing next is the trailer for our guest short film, Batman One Final Joke. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
We've been doing this for a long time, haven't we? Enough, Joker!
I'm sure you can use your imagination for the rest.
Please. Stop.
Because I wasn't here last week, Arnie and Mitch have been exited from the chairs, also because we have too many guests and we only have so many seats, and Mitch wasn't interested in sitting on Mark's lap. But I don't know about Mark. Anyways, here we got Batman One Final Joke, cast and director. We've got Mark, Chris, and William. William, you're the director for
Assistant director.
Assistant director. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, you got to get out of here. All right, got to get Mitch back here. And you played Nightwing, and you fulfilled a dream on this role.
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, last time I was on the show, I was talking about how I wanted to be Joker.
Yeah.
And sure enough, a few months later, I put together a film, and I'm Joker.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
You're
So.
a Joker.
Huh?
Congratulations.
Thanks,
Oh my God.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're Nightwing?
Yeah.
Dope.
So okay, so this is a brother team going on right
Yeah.
here. Okay, obviously you're the younger brother, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Not just because you're shorter, but just I
Only
kind of.
like 2 inches. Like,
Yeah, I kind of. You see,
short.
you see, you want to know how someone's a younger brother? Just put your hand behind their head. If they wince, you know they're a younger brother because they're getting hit in the back of the head a lot.
No.
No, wow, okay, yeah. He knew it was coming this time.
knew it
Though.
was
That's.
I've had a lot of practice for many years.
So.
We also have an older brother.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's 40.
Oh, wow.
So he's the one that flinches the most.
Yeah. Middle child then?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's not easy.
Nah, that's easy.
Wasn't easy for me, all right? Hence why I have to host the show to exit all my rants. Shut up, Arnie, nobody likes you. All right? So, but tell us a little bit about the project.
So I think we started sometime in August. I was just like, you know what? I want to do this thing. We actually, how many years ago did we start our first Batman film?
I don't know, we've been friends for like 20 years, so like...
It's only 16 years we've been friends.
Okay, so 16 years ago.
16 years ago, we started a Batman film, never finished it. And then we started another one and never finished it. And then we started another one.
Oh, that's good.
Finished it.
Third time's the charm.
Right.
This time, no, actually, sorry, this is the fourth time. Yep. So the third time we wrote a script, we had a cast, and actually the person who's playing Batman in our film now joined the union, SAG, so he couldn't be our Batman anymore. And, a couple years, 5 years down the line, he joins FICOR, we put this together, and end up casting him as Batman again.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. And Chris, how did you get involved? Okay. Yep.
Right here. Personally, I mean, he kind of dragged me into the whole acting thing, but I kind of like it myself, doing extra work here and there when I can. And when he started making the Batman thing and he needed a character, I kind of fit in pretty well, I thought, as like a young kid, like Nightwing in a sense. And yeah, I love it.
And what was your experience, Will, working on the film then?
I enjoy working on sets. I have fun with it, so it's mostly just fun. And I got a day off of work, so I win.
Yeah, that works out well.
Easy win.
Yeah, easy
Why are you
win.
so quiet right now, bro?
Because I don't want to overshadow your thing, and I also know that
on the show. I know what you do.
Yeah, I'm also on live TV, so I have to be very quiet.
No sports, no politics, no swearing. Beyond that, if you've watched the show before, you realize that there's not a lot of rules. If there is, we didn't pay much attention to them. Hey. So Mark, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, it's probably Men of Honor.
Men of Honor? I've never seen it. Who's in that?
It's Cuba Gooding Jr., Robert De Niro.
Oh, okay.
It's the Navy diver movie.
Oh, okay. What about that movie?
Growing up, my dad was a Navy, or not when I was growing up, my dad was a Navy diver, but he used to talk about it all the time. And it's one of his favorite movies, so I watched it when I was a kid, and it kind of gets all the feels in there. It's really well done. It's based off of true stories, so
Oh, okay.
it's a good feel-good movie.
All right. Chris?
The Jurassic Park series, because I'm wicked into history. Like I love all kinds of history and like.
That's historically accurate.
Very historically. Jurassic Park.
Listen, it's close enough. We don't know what's true, but I love dinosaurs and everything too.
Yes, it's a good movie for
I used to
that.
have a little dinosaur.
I used to act like a dinosaur too. So let's get into that. I still do. But, yeah, I really love them. I feel like they've always had like everything. Like they had like some had like romance, they had action, they had suspense, horror.
It's really many movies that are quite as good as Jurassic Park, the original one.
Yeah, the original Jurassic Park.
As suspense action thrillers go.
It had everything. It had like the romance. It had like kids in it too. So like,
Right.
you can always like it had everything.
Right.
That's why they're my favorite. Yeah.
Will, favorite movie?
I have to go with Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
I really liked how Tarantino did character development with all that by going back. Like each character was very in depth, and it was. I just thought it was done very well. I enjoyed watching all the characters, and that's pretty much all it comes down to. Is like I like that each character was a character. You felt like everything they did made sense.
Right.
Because there's a lot of times where you watch certain movies, they're like, why would you do that? Like it seems out of character, or you think it is in character, but in that movie, like you watch it through and you're like, well, yeah, of course he was going to do that, or of course he's going to not do that. So that's what I really enjoy about it. I like almost all Tarantino's work anyways, but like that one was his first, and that was like the first time I watched any of them. So.
So, Mark, what would you say your inspiration as an actor, as a writer now too?
Inspiration, just I don't know, man. I just like doing it. It's fun. I know it's a terrible answer.
No, it's not a terrible answer.
But like, it's I don't know, being able to like immerse yourself into something is just really fun.
Yeah, there's nothing I don't think that's a terrible answer at all, because sometimes there's hobsnobbery about certain people when I ask them what is the one role that they would want to do, and they go through this sometimes, and it's nothing wrong with this other side too. They go in this really deep aesthetic, ethereal way of thinking. They say, Terry, what's the one thing you want to do? I said, I want to fight someone on top of a moving train. And they just kind of
So much fun.
Yeah, yes.
No.
Pay for it. We'll do it right here on the show.
So,
Just found your opposition.
I just found my opposition. Yes, that
would be amazing.
Just want to do it. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with just wanting to do it. So, Chris, what about you? What's your inspiration? You say for this? For just an opportunity to spend with your older brother, right?
Yeah, that's the ultimate thing. That's the only reason.
Right. Yeah.
No sarcasm.
No sarcasm involved. 100%. No. I'm not too sure. I mean, everybody has a dream to be something, you know?
Yeah.
And, just having, like, extra roles to, like, be somebody else or be somebody that you want to be.
Right.
Kind of is what inspires me to do it, just so I can kind of get better at making stuff.
All right. William? What's your inspiration when it comes to being in the film industry? Are you strictly behind the scenes, or you been in front of?
Way back when I tried to be in front, and then I guess I just didn't work out. So now I kind of just help Mark when he wants some help, and I enjoy it too. But I think it's for me, if I look deep down inside, it's more or less like in society, or when you're being yourself, you kind of have to fit a role with your friends or family, or necessarily. You can only show so much, but when you act, you can kind of take parts of yourself that you can't show and like emphasize it. So if you play a certain role that maybe it's a much more violent person, you have some rage that you kind of want to work out. It's ways. No, think of it that way.
No, it's true.
You can kind of work that out, or like if you
do this without getting arrested. That's
yeah, exactly. So sometimes you get to play a role that gets something out. Like if I do a very serious role, I'm more fun. I'm like kind of a fun type of guy usually.
You look it.
Yeah, no, I'm very subservient.
Very held back.
Yeah, like so much.
It's kind of weird. I feel like he's plotting on you right now. Something might happen. Watch out. You might see something crazy on live TV.
That's why I'm trying to be calm. But it's nice to get those feelings out. And I know that I've even seen Mark and other people, they'll do something or do a role and they get into like a mode that they can't do usually, because they're like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you acting crazy? But you can get that out, and I think that's really important, and a lot of people don't get that, and they hold it inside, and then it comes out other ways.
Yeah.
But that would be my...
in prison. I mean, that... Uncle Vinny, you'll come out someday. Don't worry, all right?
So great movie.
Yes, my cousin Vinny.
my cousin Vinny. I'm
Yes,
uncle.
yeah. Don't make fun of my Uncle Vinny. So if you had one, so you got to fulfill your dream. So
I did.
as
Last
playing
time
the
I
Joker.
came on the show, I
Right.
said I wanted to be Joker, and
So
fair enough.
what Joker? I'm assuming you've seen the new movie,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Loved it. Yeah. Hannah, I know you keep telling me to say this. The movie was awesome. The Joker was great. Anyone who didn't like it doesn't understand anything about movies. I said it. Good. All right. So she's been saying, you got to talk about the Joker on the show all the time. I'm like, fine. And I never do. So the Joker was awesome. What would you say is your great inspiration when playing the Joker? Who did you look for someone in particular? Or just do you kind of come up with your own?
What I did for my Joker is I really dove into a Killing Joke.
Right. Ooh, dark one.
I looked into
Yeah.
Mark Hamill stuff, and I wanted my Joker to be classical, almost. So, I just tooled classical music through my head constantly for 3 months, and it's kind of funny. I was riding in the car with my girlfriend one day, and I just plugged my phone in, and it's attached to my Bluetooth, and classical Mozart Pandora was on,
Right.
and it came on, and I just kind of went a little psycho. She was right in the middle of a conversation. That came on, and I was just like, okay, I need to turn this off. She's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Your trigger.
I didn't, still too soon. It was really cool, though, to dive into that crazy weirdness.
Right.
It was fun. At one point when I was doing scene or character work, I looked in the mirror and somebody else was looking back at me, and that was probably one of my coolest moments as an actor.
That's
for
awesome.
that to happen.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I can't wait to see the film, and I can't wait to see what you guys got moving forward. Great having you back on the show, Mark.
Can I just do a shout out to the crew?
You can absolutely do a shout out to the crew. This is what we're here for.
Awesome. So, director of photography, Ben Heald, great guy. First assistant camera was Zach Sudo, also a great guy. He got some pretty sweet stuff. Sound tech.
He was a jerk. Sorry, no.
Sound tech, Brian Collins, great guy. Grip, we have Spencer Cadigan, and the other grip we had Garrett McNamee. Bang. Got everyone. Oh, and editing the film right now is Michael Chaporian, and I got a rough cut of the film this week. Doing a great job.
Awesome.
Did you say Derek Pratt?
Oh, Jesus.
My
the other
God, that's why I'm here.
He's not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's not here, but say his name. That's why you say his name.
Oh, the other one. Oh, playing Batman. Derek, if you're watching, killer job.
I don't think
You're
I need to
welcome.
host the show anymore. I think we can just walk away and let these two guys go at it at this point. At this point in time, it's
Yeah,
like,
actually, Derek Pratt's living in California now, doing modeling and acting, and he's killing it.
wow, yeah, but not as much as you. You're the Killing Joke man. Come on, all right.
Kill anyone?
All right.
Did I kill anyone?
Oh, yes. So yes, thank you. Arnie's reminding me. This is why she's supposed to stay on the show. Where would they be able to find the film once it's released?
It's going to be on YouTube.
All right, awesome. So when you guys send it, make sure you send it away. We'll be posting it on our Facebook page and sharing on our YouTube channel. All right. So we're running a little bit behind today because we had some sound issues because it's all Dan's fault. But when we come back, we're going to be delving into the news, and I wrote up something a little bit funny so I could say before going to the next segment, but they haven't scrolled up to it, so I can't read. Okay, cool. Up next, we talk about the highest grossing films in 2019. One or two of them actually don't belong to Disney, I hope. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Thanks, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
No.
Again,
What's going on?
well, we're trying to film a promo for an early late night live show, but Facebook Live keeps kicking us off.
Technical difficulties. Tell me about it.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. All right. It's the early late night live. Let's see, how do I pretend?
What are you trying to say?
Well, you know that people should watch the show because we have so much fun, talk entertainment news and things like that, and of course my segment.
Yeah.
I swear, Facebook hates us.
Hey, maybe if we do this.
Ooh. Oh.
Whoops. Accidental selfie.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Let me.
I got the.
No. You apparently don't.
No, I
You don't
do.
actually know what you're doing.
But
All right.
it's my phone.
Yeah. No. No. Listen. Let me do it. Let me do it.
guys.
You're acting like such a girl.
Oh my gosh, you
Guys,
What?
We're live.
Join us Wednesday night, 7 p.m., Exeter Channel 98.
And on YouTube when it works.
And we'll talk entertainment news and trash some trailers. And then, of course, we've got my segment. So don't miss it. Join us on Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Siblings.
The Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and enemies alike. Thank you to Mark and the gang for coming on, talking about their show, short film, One Final Joke. Can't wait to see it. The Early Late Night Live Show, though, is a proud supporter of Annie's Angels Memorial Fund. Annie's Angels is dedicated to helping local families struggling financially through life-threatening disease, illness, or disability, connecting neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, and business to business in a caring fundraising network. You can support Annie's Angels by reaching out to them at anniesangels.org. Again, that's anniesangels.org. And now we turn over to the news with Mitch Fortier.
We don't have like a graphic for that. I mean,
No, we don't.
News.
Yes.
You can just do that every time.
I can just do this every time, right? I know that'll work.
So what do we got for the news?
Well, we'll start off with the box office, as usually do. Not that there's a lot going on. Like last week, it's been pretty lackluster this time of year. Things kind of slow down, but Bad Boys is holding strong at number 1. Mm-hmm. Frozen 2 is still in the top 10. Reached over 1.4 billion worldwide. Not a surprise, of course. Nope. You know. And Jumanji is still in the top 5 after 7 weeks. So. Wow. Star Wars is still playing like 3,000 theaters. Mm-hmm. So
where is it in the list?
I forget offhand. I don't want to say it was in the top 20 easy anyway, but 1.4 billion.
1.4 billion?
Is roughly. Yeah, it's 1.2 to 1.4. I can't remember exactly, but
okay.
Yeah, and apparently a disappointment to Disney.
It is a very big. I don't think this is like an enormous disappointment.
Like, how is $1.2 billion a disappointment?
Well, when the first one of the trilogy made $2 billion, and this one made almost $1 billion less than what it's supposed to be, and it cost more, and it's supposed to be the final one, and it's supposed to open the door to more stuff, and it doesn't. It's been a train. I read a report, and I was not joking. I read a report somewhere that said that Disney is like still like $3 billion in the hole from the purchase of Star Wars.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's like, someone's saying they're too big to fail, and there's no.
They thought that about the Titanic.
They thought that about the Titanic too. Yeah.
Didn't work out too well.
Now, does that mean Disney's going to shut down? No, but you can see the effect, the immediate effect, because I think one of your bits of news is from Mr. Bob Iger.
That's correct, yeah. And Dan, we've got a little graphic of him in some background images of what Disney's up to these days. But apparently he was in a board meeting recently, or in an investor meeting, telling people that they're going to shelve any Star Wars films, or at least at this point, any theatrical releases of Star Wars-related product, and stick to television, stick to the series. The Mandalorian, they've got an Obi-Wan series coming out, or they're working on still, and with Ewan McGregor. That's all been confirmed. Apparently there was a bunch of stories about how that might not happen, but that's been kind of debunked a couple of times now. And
The Mandalorian has done what would seem to be impossible. Every Star Wars fan I know who's seen it has liked it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not just Baby Yoda. They actually like the show. And I'm like, I never thought I'd live to see the day
Yeah,
where
by and
everyone
large.
would disagree about something that had to do with Star Wars.
It's pretty cool. I cannot wait until it's going to be, the second season will come out in August or October, I think. Actually, I think I wrote it down. But October 2020, so it's just right around the corner. Along with The Falcon and Winter Soldier in August 2020, and then WandaVision in December. So a lot to look forward to from Disney, but no Star Wars films for foreseen future. And part of it is they don't know what the hell to talk about. They don't know what to write about. Like,
Well, just do the same thing they did before. Like, just take from everything else.
Take a little bits and pieces they wanted
Right.
and make up the rest. Yeah, well, that could work.
It's sort of like really crappy frozen pizza. Let's do the thing everyone likes, except do it the wrong way. Like that's what.
Well, that's because it's not DiGiorno. DiGiorno. Oh, I'm sorry. We
Yeah,
probably
right,
need
yeah,
to-
yeah, it should be
Yeah, we know why you
DiGiorno
endorse
would love you to
DiGiorno.
sponsor us.
Yes, I actually like DiGiorno pizza. They're actually, as frozen pizzas go, they're actually pretty good. But now,
If you're going to be pizza, right, in the movie industry, be
be DiGiorno. Yes, yeah. So now, but did you have a list of what were the highest grossing films in 2019?
I did, yeah. That
Yes.
was the top 20. And so I was looking through it, and I forget why I went into this exactly, but
Because the news
it
messed
was
you
like,
up?
yeah, I'm like
Right.
just scrolling through stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see. So half of these I've never heard of. Okay, so no surprise, Avengers Endgame was number 1.
Okay.
Lion King.
Right.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
Captain Marvel.
Wow.
Toy Story 4.
Okay.
I thought it was actually Toy Story 4 was going to be higher than that. Aladdin, which I was again surprised about.
Aladdin was not a very good movie, but it wasn't a terrible movie.
That was a live action, right?
Right.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
It wasn't a terrible movie, but it was not a good movie.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
No, I just really, really like the girl's song in it.
Yeah.
No, it had a lot of love for Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
It tried some things, and it had some issues with, like, some of the acting just wasn't that good in it. But it didn't, like, dishonor, like, it didn't,
I
like,
thought that the
They didn't try to
entry
make it-
scene into Agrabah, the whole big, like,
Right.
Prince Ali, and I thought, wow, it really doesn't feel big. Like, it should feel bigger than this, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, it had some, like, for example, Will Smith was great in the side scenes.
You had William looking at you like, what are you going to say?
Hang on a second. Will Smith was great in the side scenes because he was his version of the genie.
Mm-hmm.
And you never doubted that he was the genie at one point, but he was not trying to imitate Robin Williams, which I thought was really good. He had the sort of manic, right. And they expanded his story a little bit, which I appreciated. The acting from the kid who played Aladdin in the main girl in it was not very good in the very beginning. It was just kind of awkward. But their characters weren't bad. Excuse me.
The tiger?
Pardon me.
Did
He
it
didn't talk in it, though.
I don't think he talked in the original anyway.
Yeah, but it was some very funny parts in it and some entertaining parts in it. Overall, it was not a very good movie, but it wasn't a disrespectful movie. If you know what I mean. So.
Well, I hope to see it at some point, and it was one of the few in the top 10 that it was a surprise to me. And of course, Joker, Fast and Furious, the Hobbs and Shaw, Frozen 2. But then the number 10 came about.
Two on that because
It was number 9.
Wow, I'm actually surprised by that.
Well, you know what? I think this was the amount of money that it made in 2019.
Okay.
Because it's only at $742 million overall right now.
Still, there's a lot of little girls with those.
But it's at 1.4 billion right now, so this is a huge discrepancy. So the amount of
Excuse
money
me,
they
I'm
made
so sorry.
in 2019.
They're just going to kill my mic.
Has anybody got any Dayquil?
Yeah.
Did we already do Star Wars? Is Star Wars on this list?
No, it didn't make the list.
Wow.
But it did come out late in December.
It did come out late.
Right.
I think that this is like the cumulative amount of money that they made up to in
Alita Battle
2019.
Angel.
Can I
So it's not releases, but Neza, have you ever?
No,
like
that's
I had
Hollywood, or?
no idea. Yeah, but it was
Else in the world makes movies?
700 million worldwide.
Wow.
110 million. Oh, yeah, 85 million was number 18.
That might be domestic, and then there's worldwide, and then there's
overall 404 million. Oh, that's overall, right.
yeah, overall is worldwide,
It couldn't beat
and that's just
its
the money they
opening,
made in
385
2019.
million. That's still not good. The fact that,
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's a lot of original, we're joking about
Disney owning it.
remakes.
Right.
Well, no, about so many remakes, but there's a lot of original content on here. Like the Avengers was original, Captain Marvel. I mean, I know they're from comic books, but they're not remakes of other movies.
I thought Alita Battle Angel bombed. That's why I'm kind of surprised. But
It did bomb over here, but it did well, I guess, overseas. But like,
The Hobbs and Shaw, the Joker.
yeah, like a lot of these are original movies,
Right.
even if they are sequels. I'm surprised to see Maleficent on here, and I'm really shocked to see The Secret Life of Pets or Pokemon.
Yeah. Secret Life of Pets too.
Very surprised
actually.
by that.
Well, I think they got their full, 12, 10 months or 9 months
still, that's
or so.
a lot to be on the top 20.
So-
Pikachu, and I would just
Yeah.
be really embarrassed. Or Secret Lives of Pets too.
I
I
actually
would
want
be
to see
embarrassed by
Pikachu
that.
now.
the
Yeah.
sequel.
Elsa beating them, I understand, but Pikachu, I'm not really sure if I get, but that's me.
Yeah, there were a few surprises, but Chapter 2, Chapter 2, and then the Joker, the two rated R films, making the top 20 was kind of interesting too.
Joker was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's one of the few films that we've all have seen. We actually all went to see in theaters, which it's kind of sad to say. We're all in the movie business, but none of us go to the movies all that much.
Pikachu is life, says
Pikachu is life, yes, all right?
Pikachu.
Exeter TV says,
Pikachu is actually pretty good, so I'm in the minority. I'm just surprised. I didn't think it
it
was
looked
much
fun.
of a ripple when it came
It looked
out.
fun,
so.
yeah. It looks like fun.
Yeah.
He's really cute in it. I'm just going to say,
It was
he's
really
very cute, yeah.
I'm actually really excited about Sonic the Hedgehog, but it really has more to do with the mustache of the bad guy.
That's true, yes. That's a pretty amazing mustache, yeah.
It was, yeah. It's
seeing
very
Jim Carrey in a
Professor
film.
Fate. Huh?
But seeing Jim Carrey in a film I don't remember the last film he was in.
Well, we just talked about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Actually, we reviewed the trailer
No,
for it.
what I'm saying,
yeah, I
but
know.
Some sort of
before
dark,
that.
it was a
Oh, some dark murder mystery
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
some sort of Swedish mystery.
Swedish?
Swedish.
Yes, if vegan people got
Vegan-
killed, it was one of those things. on that note, when we come back, we're going to have a new segment of the show that is all talking about Arnie's inner rage. We'll be back.
Woohoo!
What's going on? Oh, hey, we're starting a new show.
I'm hosting. So are we. I even wore my suit.
Yeah, we thought at this point it would be probably a little bit better to aim at a younger audience, so we hired Kate. And them.
Wait, them? Our names are them?
Shut up.
Except we won't talk sports, we're not gonna talk politics, just entertainment.
That's the same as my show.
Or not that original.
Get out.
Stay.
Terry, this is my show.
Want to keep your job?
You're fired.
What?
I'm here.
Show's canceled.
Welcome back to the Only Late Night Live show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8, and sometimes I'm here when my car works, or more importantly, when I learned how to repair my car properly.
Yeah.
So yes, I have paid the price. I wasn't sitting here in the chair, and they have paid the price.
No,
But
we
they were
actually
happy.
were the benefactors of that
No, yes,
situation.
okay, whatever. Anyways, we're starting a new segment of the show that Mitch just found out about 30 seconds ago about. All right.
Let them.
So the section is going to be called "What's Your Beef?" Because Arnie got mad about something the other day, and she said, "I want to add this section into the show." I said, "I'll make a cool logo for it." And Dan said he'll make a cool logo for it, and we haven't got a cool logo for it. So we're going to see how it plays out. But we'll turn it over to Arnie. Arnie has an issue with something, and she's going to rant about it. So let's get a nice, beautiful close-up of Arnie right now. And Arnie, when you see the timer, you need to then start talking.
I gotta start. So
So
we
once
have,
the
like,
camera
2
cuts to
minutes,
Arnie.
Oh, that's 2
yes,
minutes?
once the timer comes up.
That just 2 minutes to crab about what I want to crab about.
Once the timer comes up.
Yeah.
Once Dan gets the timer up. There it
I
is.
don't
This
think we
timer.
have a timer. Oh, is that a timer?
That's the timer,
All right,
yes.
so I was on a plane this weekend, and I was talking with a couple of nice gentlemen sitting next to me, and we were talking about, what their jobs and stuff like that.
Minute 46 seconds. Arnie.
Yep. And then one of them said the thing that ticked me off. One of them was reading a book by John Cleese, and someone else brought up Charles Dickens, and one of the guys said, "Oh yeah, he was paid by the word." And I wanted to
Describe that a little bit to people who don't know for book weenies out there.
So Charles Dickens was apparently one of his jobs. He was paid by the word count as opposed to given a lump sum. And I've heard this ever since I was 16 years old. I made the mistake of once telling somebody that I love Charles Dickens books because I do. And they always use that because it's the only thing apparently anybody remembers from their English class when they were in high school was that he was paid by the word. And they used this one stupid sentence to dismiss an entire man's work because they didn't like reading the books because frankly they're doorstops. So now every time someone says this, I want to hit them with a copy of David Copperfield because it's a nice big book.
He got paid really well for that one.
Yeah, really well. I mean, this man wrote 15 novels. Every single one of them became an international bestseller. And since they came out, and he started writing in 1836, they've never been out of print. Never. Not one of his books. And I'd like to see one of these smart mouths beat that record. Write 15 novels, only 15, have none of them ever go out of print, and have one of them change the way the world looks at Christmas. And be in the Guinness Book of World Records for how many times your character has been portrayed. Okay? Because, this really makes me mad. So please, nobody, if you want to be my friend and if you want my respect, do not tell me that Charles Dickens was paid by the word, because I've heard this 60 million times, and you're just showing your ignorance and how stupid you are because you didn't want to read David Copperfield.
All right, wow, okay, all right, yeah. I'm very impressed by that. All right, that was
crap
good.
ton about Charles Dickens.
A 2 minute.
No, less about Shakespeare now.
I think Artie's point is that whether he got paid by the word or not. By the way, just so you know, filmmakers are paid to make films at a particular length too. Does that mean they stink as filmmakers also? I mean, you're gonna tell Steven Spielberg he made a film that needed to be 2 hours long. So he
we're
must
just going to
allow-
dismiss him.
Just going to dismiss it and stuff. Yes. All right. So I have a little thing that's not quite as angry as you.
mad, yeah.
Yes, not quite as angry as you, but I got a little something I kind of want to rant a little bit about, and maybe this would come back to hit me because I rant a lot about Star Wars and stuff.
Sorry, David, Bob Torrejo says I should have David Copperfield, but
I should have David Copperfield. Yes.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes. So, my timer's already going. Okay.
Oh, all right.
So this is my rant. I have been getting into kind of a Star Trek kick lately, and I've been going back and forth watching a lot of Star Trek films. And in the original cast feature films, there is two that is disrespected more than any. It's Star Trek 1 and Star Trek 5 in particular. Star Trek 1 being Star Trek The Motion Picture, shows you how old the movie was. They just called it The Motion Picture as opposed to Star Trek. And no, that's really a sign of that. And Star Trek The Final Frontier, directed by William Shatner. All right? William Shatner, who to me is probably one of the biggest fans of Star Trek and has probably had one of the closest, best respect for the fans, which I must say about this. Okay? So I watched both these movies, and they're hated a lot. Why? Okay, the first one here is so boring. It's long and it's dull and it's boring. Okay, now I haven't watched much of The Next Generation, but from my understanding, they were not fast-paced, like snappy. We're going to get moving on to things. Things are going to be going really quickly, and there's going to be a lot
like
of action
watching
involved.
conferences and
You
how to
like
handle a
watching
problem.
conferences. This is what I hear from fans of the show. Okay, that this is the case. The original Star Trek had bad special effects. I don't know because it came out in the 70s. All right, it had a story about the 1978, the original movie.
Oh, excuse me, yes.
It had a story about them going into a secret world to find out something that they didn't quite understand about a mysterious creature that inevitably killed a bunch of people. I don't know. That sounds like Star Trek to me. All right? And on top of that, Star Trek V had action, adventure, comedy, which the original Star Trek series typically had action, adventure, comedy, and questions of deeper ethereal meanings. Star Trek V had all that. So go back and watch them again. That's all I got to say. All right. Now, Mitch Fortier. All right? Go back and watch both of them again, seriously. I now have watched all of them, and I like all of them. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the Next Generation ones, but I'm not a fan. I didn't really watch the Next Generation, but I'm a fan of the original series. And all the films, I'm now officially a fan of all of them. Big shock in the 70s, the special effects weren't as good. Mitch Fortier, do you have anything you want to rant about before
I can rant a little bit about something, but it was... I was
you got 2 minutes, wait for the timer. Timer. We got to do this properly. Bring the timer up, Danny boy. Timer. There we go.
Go.
All right. So I drive for Lyft and Uber, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Massachusetts has this law about drivers who are rideshare people and taxis and things, and they have to have this certificate. It's called a TNC inspection. They basically check your seat belts and the safety features and the locks on the doors and the windows and make sure everything works.
Right.
So you have to have this in order to drive in Massachusetts as an Uber driver or Lyft driver. So I go online trying to figure out what the this TNC thing is all about. And they're like, just go to a service station and get one. So I go, and they're like, I'm sorry, your car's registered in New Hampshire. We can't give you a TNC inspection. And I'm like, really? Oh, well, Uber's telling me I need to have one. So I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I don't have time for this right now. So I go back home. So I started looking online again, and I found this company that was supposedly able to do this stuff remotely through my phone, like I had an app. And I was going to tell Abby about this earlier, but I totally forgot. But I'm telling you now. And so you sign up, and they say they're going to do this thing, and you go around your car, and you show them pictures and VINs and things. Well, I asked them specifically, is this a Massachusetts TNC inspection? If it is, then I will do it. And she's like, okay, let's get started. And I'm like, come to find out after I go through this whole damn thing that it was not a TNC inspection. You actually have to be a licensed inspector in Massachusetts. And they didn't have, no, I did not pay them, fortunately. And but I did call ahead. I finally called some people down there and they said, yeah, just come on down. We'll do it for you. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Why do they, Uber doesn't make it easy for you to understand exactly who and what and where you need to do this thing. But I'm gonna get it done. It's gonna cost me $15. I'll be legal again and I'll avoid fines. That'll be awesome.
All right, awesome, with 15 seconds to spare. So yes, that was the first segment of What's Your Beef. Really quick, Steve, I know his name, his real name is Steve, never stayed awake during Star Trek 1 in 4 watchings. And you like Next Generation and you like Doctor Who. That sort of surprised me. Star Trek 6 was like watching a TV episode, not a movie. Now, okay, I wasn't talking about Star Trek 6, but okay. Specifically not one of the films that I was talking about. I was talking about Star Trek 5. I guess you weren't awake for this either. So, yeah, all right, I don't get it. They were all like watching a Star Trek episode. None of them were like...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah.
Right.
So we're being told weathermen and snow.
Weathermen and snow.
I don't really know why we're being...
Probably because it's going to snow. If you're tuning into this to watch the weather or any relevant news, you got to get a life. Anyways.
I just literally ranted about a man who's been dead for 100 years.
Yes, all right, yeah. And I'm talking about a series from 1978. Okay, it's Early Late Night Live show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98. Arnie, who's our guest for next week?
That would be, hang on a second, I knew this.
Excuse me.
I don't even know. I usually kind of look at it, but I forgot.
This was great. Looking forward to next week. Thank you.
Oh, Giuseppe, he is our next.
Oh, great.
Giuseppe Mignano.
Yes.
He says, sorry, 5. I misspelled, sorry, V. I misspelled VI. What the?
Yeah, well, that's...
So you put 2, in order to misspell 1 letter, you put 2 letters.
Hey, don't isolate the only thing we have.
All right, whatever.
What does Giuseppe do?
That's it.
Oh, he's a filmmaker.
Okay, filmmaker. We'll be back next week. We're running out of time. We got to go. Sorry, folks. We'll see you next week. Giuseppe, see you soon.
Throwing us out of here.
Hey, you made it. Thank you for watching our show, and be sure to join us next week at 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel, The Early Late Night Live Show in Exeter Channel 98.
And if you have any questions or want to be a guest on the show, you can email killarneyt@gmail.com. There might be a link or some info somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here.
Below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. You won't regret it.
We
They
hope.
won't regret it.
The Terry Traynor Show. There's something